You are now listening to WSN Wolf Sports Network, live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now in Odyssey Station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
West Georgia's go-to show for all things sports.
From the best interviews in college radio.
Hey, this is Coach Joel Taylor, head football coach here at the University of West Georgia.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Bacon, Atlantic Sun Conference Commissioner.
To the hottest takes around.
I wholeheartedly believe that behind Sean Payton and a second-year Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs and be the AFC West champions.
I mean, plain and simple, the worst decision Kalen DeBoer has ever made is taking the head coaching position at Alabama.
We've got all you need and more right here on Sports Pack.
The Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Thursday edition of Sports Pack. I am your host, Richard Reed, joined today by my guy, Riley Ford, Jackson Schrader, and John Howley, killing it on the board as always. We have a jam-packed show for you because we have a lot of UWG athletics to get to as our football team is going on the road for the first time after a 2-week dominant homestand. And we have a mega, and when I say mega, I mean mega college football Saturday coming up. So we got a lot to get to and not a lot of time to do it. So before we get started, I just want to remind you all that every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday at West Commons. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. And follow Dine West on Instagram for more updates and special events you may need at UWGDine_West on Instagram.
And don't forget that Westwoods has a new resident pool and is now accepting all applicants. More information is located at livewestwoods.com.
College students who binge drink alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 times more likely to perform poorly on a test or project as a result of drinking. That is why Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign is always here to remind students that drinking should never be done responsibly. That drinking should be done responsibly and in an environment that discourages overindulging. Faculty will not take hangovers as excuses. Now, John, how about them Wolves, man?
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
Like I said, it's been a very exciting last 2 weekends here in the City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia, as our West Georgia Wolves football team has been on fire. First winning what will go down as a classic game right here in University Stadium, beating East Tennessee State 35-31 with a walk-off touchdown strike from Davin Widener at the end of the game. And then last weekend is going out and dominating Eastern Kentucky, winning 33-12. Our Wolves are going back on the road for their second UAC conference game against Southern Utah. The Southern Utah Thunderbirds, to be exact, hailing from Cedar City, Utah. Now, I know a lot of people from Western Georgia, or just Georgia in general, probably don't know too much about Southern Utah football. If you do, I tip my cap to you. But I'll be honest, I really didn't know too much until West Georgia moved into this conference. But what I do know is this Southern Utah offense is elite. They go out and score and put up a lot of points against the best. The UC Davis Aggies are one of the best teams in the FCS ranks. And Southern Utah, in a 35-50 loss, put up over 500 yards of total offense against the Aggies in what Coach Taylor described as a very impressive offensive performance in his press conference. But their only problem is their defense. But when you're facing an offensive attack that is this potent, Schrader, you got to be on your A game.
Yeah, but it's a good problem to have because our defense is so good. Like I've said before on this show, our defense isn't a defense that is good enough to keep you in a game. It's a defense that's good enough to win you games, and we've seen that multiple times throughout this season. But I think this is a great opportunity for our offense to really show what it's capable of. We know that we have an outstanding run game with Latrell. We know that this passing game, as of last week, looked like it could be turning itself around and becoming more efficient. And if there's a team that absolutely break their hearts, it's this one. We go into Southern Utah, we walk into their trap, and we beat the crap out of them. I think we can do it, especially with our performance against a pretty comparable Eastern Kentucky team from play style. I mean, we know that Southern Utah is outstanding at running the football, but if our defense can just do what it's been doing and our offense has a pulse, I think this is going to be a great game.
Riley?
I mean, I totally agree. I think our defense is near perfectly suited to take on the Southern Utah offense. They're a run-first team. They run the ball a ton, and they're great at it. But what is our defense the best at? getting TFLs, stopping that run game.
Yeah.
And we've had 4, and aside from that, we've had 4 separate players get an interception so far this season.
Wow.
So our secondary, we're out there in the skies. We can bottle them up in the run, force them to pass, and then we've got a great secondary out there to get them, just to get them out of there with that secondary. Yep, for turnovers. And that's another thing for Southern Utah. Like, as you said, their defense, very weak. They're not very turnover heavy. They have 1 interception on the entire season, and their sack numbers are very inconsistent from game to game. So our offensive line could hold up very well against them as well. I see us very strong going into Southern Utah here.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. I'm going to back up Richie. You're talking about Southern Utah. I mean, if you look at their average for their total offense, it's 492, like flat, simple as that. And
492 yards a game?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
I hope that's not points.
But then, but then look at total defense, 437 yards allowed.
Wow.
And that's just absolutely crazy. So I think this is going to put a huge test to our defense, but this is an opportunity for our offense that's, not that it's been good, but you've seen the problems and the injuries that we had. This might be a good opportunity for someone to step up and maybe open up that absolute playmaker, and for us just to go down the field and absolutely just march there, because it just might. This is probably a game where we can look at it and say, hey, we can open up the playbook and we can go do the things that we've been needing to do all season.
I'm with you 1,000%, John. Not even 100%, 1,000%. This is the game that could serve as that get right confidence builder game, because Southern Utah over their last 2 weeks played North Arizona and UC Davis. They gave up 52 total points to North Arizona and 50 points flat to UC Davis, not to mention the 27 and 24 points they gave up the 2 weeks prior. Our West Georgia offense is potent, but we've struggled with injuries and primarily turnovers. Last week we had our first game without an interception from Davin Widener.
Yep.
This would be a good time for him to really stretch the ball down the field against a defense that has struggled over the first 4 weeks of the season. This is his chance to get on board. And also our running backs. When Latrell Morrell went down last weekend, he will be cleared to play this week, but TJ Lester stepped up and had over 100 rushing yards and a touchdown on just 18 carries. Now we have 2 backs that can shoulder the burden of our run game while also opening up the passing attack for Davin. So I'm with you 100%, John. This is the game where we build our confidence and really show the rest of the UAC conference that we're not just a defensive and run game team. We also have an offense that can push the ball down the field when needed.
Yeah, and to expand on that, like, we can push the ball down the field. That's great. But something that we've seen throughout this homestand is a struggle to really be efficient in the red zone. There's been a lot of times we get to the red zone and either go for it on 4th down and don't get it, or we just settle for a field goal. But something about Southern Utah's defense is if we were to make it to the red zone, their opponents score 94% of the time that they make it to the red zone. So really, the key to this game is just get to the red zone, and you should be able to win this one.
The main thing here, before we move on to our other West Georgia sports, because there are other West Georgia sports being played, the key for this game is West Georgia is playing clean.
Yes.
Do not turn the ball over.
Absolutely.
Because even though we all expect West Georgia to win this game because of how weak the Southern Utah offense is, we've also stressed how good we expect to win because how bad their defense is.
There we go.
But we've also stressed how good their offense is. So if we have another Davin Widener game where he's throwing 2-3 interceptions, we can't just bank on our defense bailing us out and getting us off the field, because this is a Southern Utah Thunderbolts offense that has shown week in and week out that they can score with just about anyone. So we cannot give them chances. We need to play a clean game, execute, and get out of there, because they're 1-3 right now. They don't want to be 1-4. And this is their homecoming, and we have to travel across the country. The odds are not in our favor. They are, but the non-paperwork odds are not in our favor. So we need to get in there, play a clean game, and get out back to Carrollton before next week's game against Austin Peay.
Yes, sir.
Now, we also have more games going on in the City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia, as our soccer team is home this weekend for a 2-game stretch. First game tonight at 7 against Stetson University. We'll be doing live coverage here on Wolf Sports Network right after Sports Pack goes off, so make sure you stay tuned in so you can hear our live coverage from JT, Michael, and Jackson Voles and the crew. And we also have another game right here in Carrollton, Georgia on Sunday at 1 p.m. against Florida Gulf Coast. Our volleyball team is also home with a game Sunday at – okay, I messed up. With a game tomorrow at 6 p.m. versus the University of North Florida, and Sunday at 1 p.m. against Jacksonville University. Now, our volleyball team has been struggling as of lately, currently sitting at 2-11 on the season. Riley, what does this group of girls need to do to help get back in the win column?
First off, it's about mental at this point, I think. This is their first home game that isn't an exhibition game, so they've got a lot of home games coming up in order to rebuild that confidence a little bit. But the one big thing is just cleaning up errors. the error differential between us and our opponents is absolutely massive, and I think if they can clean that up just a little bit, we have a good, we play pretty good defensive volleyball, and we score relatively frequently. We just need to make sure we don't have errors, nothing like that, nothing of the sort like that, and just keep that momentum going through all of our home games.
Right, you're 100% right. There's really nothing to add there, but I do want to say this. Like Riley said, this is their first non-exhibition home game.
Pull up.
They need a crowd.
Pull
so
up.
please get out there, show support. If you
Yep.
are in the area, be sure you make it to that game because, like I said, they're 2-11 right now. Haven't had a home game since the second week of school in August.
I don't
It is.
even-
They're well
It's
over.
been over a month.
Yeah, it was a preseason game, and it was in like mid to early August. I remember I
Mhm.
was there. It was like August 12th or something crazy like that. So go out, show them support so they can try to get back in the win column. I feel like they just needed to be back home, man.
Yeah.
2-11. You've been on the road since early August. They needed to come back home. So hopefully they can make it 3-11 after this first game, and then who knows? Maybe at 4-11, then just build on from there. Maybe they also just need a confidence boost, just like we were saying with our West Georgia Wolves football team as well. Now we're gonna take a quick song break. Not a quick song, but we're gonna take a quick ad break. Excuse me. But before we go, I just want to remind you that Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help reduce the 21% of adults with low literacy skills. We are collecting new and gently used books for every UWG pre-K student monthly. So give today by visiting thewolfUWG.com/book drive. That is thewolfUWG.com/book drive. Now, like I said, don't go anywhere because we have a jam-packed college football segment because this is probably arguably the greatest college football weekend of the season. So stay locked. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Hey y'all, it's Schrader. Now don't go anywhere because you're listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
It's time for Season 2 of the Playbook, and we're talking all things college football, putting together a better sophomore season than Tim Tebow in 2007.
To the listeners and everybody at Wolf Nation, I promise you one thing. You will never see an on-air personality work as hard as I will for Season 2 of the Playbook, and we will make this show better than any college football radio show will ever be for Season 2 of the Playbook.
Listen as we fulfill this promise, live, every Friday at noon.
This season, everything changes. I'm the only one who came back, and honestly, I might regret it.
Josh Allen might just be the best athlete the NFL has ever seen.
Spencer Strider is an elite closer posing as an ace.
D. Rose is the most overrated player of all time.
One vet, all new voices, hot takes, wild debates, and zero chill. Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket debuts this fall, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Ian's freestyle went big. But we're gonna go bigger.
Dang, it's my first season. I feel like a star. I be dropping hot takes. I speak real bizarre. How many views we gonna get? I'd say about 1 mil. Out of Pocket Season 6. We got zero chill. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network.
Welcome to the Boring Sports Show, where we only bring the most boring sports takes.
Who are you? I am Hot Takes Man, and I defend the world from boring sports shows like yours. Another day's work for Hot Takes Man. Citizen, if you want to save yourself from boring sports content, then tune in to Sports Out of Pocket, Wednesdays from 6 to 7 on Wolf Sports Network.
Now, John, I got a question for you.
What's up?
Do you like wearing clothes?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Well, boy, do I have some news for you.
I would hope I like to wear clothes.
Let me tell you, everybody listening, if you go to wolfsportsnetwork.com, click the About page, and click on merch, you will find some pretty darn good merch that supports us here at Wolf Sports Network. And I heard a little birdie told me that we now have some new items, including a baseball jersey. So that's going to wolfsportsnetwork.com, click the About page, and hit merch to help support us here at Wolf Sports Network.
Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music. Now, a minute ago, I mentioned how jam-packed this college football weekend is. And I really can't stress how jammed it is. First of all, welcome my brother Aaron Walker to the show. He'll be with us for the next couple segments, filling in for us. Appreciate you, Aaron. You killed it last time. We're going to have another great show with you today. Absolutely. And part of what makes this weekend so massive is the fact that it isn't just all condensed to a Saturday. It starts Friday night, Jackson.
Darn Teton.
And it starts with your favorite team, the
Darn
Florida State
Teton.
Seminoles, going on the road to Blacksburg to take on the 3-1
Charlottesville, bud.
Charlottesville. Virginia Tech plays in Blacksburg.
Yeah, you're not
right?
an ACC guy. You don't get it.
I'm not. Virginia, look, man, it doesn't matter. But they're going on the road to take on Virginia.
Yeah.
Now, walk me through it here, because a lot of people haven't seen Florida State since that dominant win against Bama.
Yeah.
And they really don't know what to expect going into Friday night's game against Virginia. So walk us through what we need to expect from this Florida State team tonight.
Yeah, before I get into the game, I just want to say, if you're getting married this weekend, shame on you.
Oh,
just shame on
Tell
you.
me about
I know
it.
fall wedding's
weddings are-
risky,
Yep.
but this weekend in particular, just shame on you. There's so much going on this weekend, it's just brutal. But
I don't get fall weddings, period.
I agree with
I
you.
don't understand
And I work at a wedding venue. That just shows.
Why are we even getting married? You know, why are we even getting married?
You know, yeah, but you look at this. You look at this game, Florida State, Virginia. I'm really excited for it simply because it's been a little bit since my Seminoles have really played some strong talent. Right? We had that outstanding game where we absolutely dismantled Alabama from start to finish, aside from the first drive. But I mean, that game was better than I could have ever imagined. But this Virginia team's been very quietly flying under the radar. I mean, this passing offense that Virginia has with a guy named Chandler Morris. And if you don't know who Chandler Morris is, he was North Texas's quarterback for a little while.
That's right.
And he was outstanding at North Texas. He was one of the American Conference's best passers, and he's done nothing but that at Virginia. I mean, their offense is completely revitalized. They lost Malachi Fields to Notre Dame, yet they're better than they were with Malachi Fields, which is unbelievable. And so I'm really excited for this game because it's a great test to see how Florida State is going to look for the rest of the season. I've said since the start that this Virginia game is going to be the game where you see what the 2025 Florida State Seminoles look like, and I stand by that. That Alabama game was fun, but we could have just caught Alabama at the right time.
Right.
They didn't expect us to be the team that we are, but this game, going up to Charlottesville against a very talented Virginia team, is going to be a great one. It's going to be really fun to watch.
Now, listen, you said this would be the game where we kind of find out who the 2025 Florida State Seminoles are.
We
But
do have
I've been
Miami.
watching over these past 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
I think they're a high-flying offense, Raider.
I mean, yeah. I mean, our offense is outstanding. We're averaging over 600 yards a game. I mean, we had 498 rushing yards against Kent State. Broke the-
498 rushing yards?
Rushing yards. We had over 700 yards total. So I have absolutely, I mean, I love this team. They've been playing great, but I'm really excited for us to get back into some Power 4 opponents and really see what we can do with the momentum and see if we're able to just not stumble over our own feet trying to make a push for the ACC.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this, too, because this next 2-game stretch for Florida State is going to be very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, go on the road to Virginia, and then that next week they have Miami, who we were discussing it earlier, Schrader, will probably be the college game day game of the week that week.
I sure
it's
hope
going to
it
be
does.
extremely exciting atmosphere, and I'm ready to see what this Florida State Seminoles team really is, man, because Alabama sputtered at the start. They've been getting better and better week by week. We're going to break them down soon. So, like I said, I really want to learn a lot about Florida State this weekend. Now, Aaron, it's another big-time game Friday night, too. The Florida State game starts at 7 on ESPN, but at 9 p.m. on Fox, we got a Big 12 matchup between the 24th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs behind quarterback Josh Hoover, who has been lighting it on fire with 11 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions in the first 3 weeks of the season. And the Arizona State Sun Devils, who made the college football playoff last year, gave Texas all they could handle. But some would say they started off a little slow. They're 3-1, but had a very nasty loss to Mississippi State on the road in Starksville a couple weeks ago. So walk me through what we should expect from this other Friday night game.
Going to be a great, exciting game. 9 p.m. in Arizona State. Obviously, we know how that school can get that campus. You know,
Tempe gets going, brother.
They get going. They're rowdy and
go out there. You're gonna get burnt.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be
one way or another. You're gonna get burnt. I don't care what.
It's gonna be a fight. It's a Big 12 matchup. It's going to be this. This definitely has conference championship implications on it.
Oh yeah,
could be one of the biggest quarterback battles of this weekend slate. Josh Hoover, he's like you said, he's balling right now, dogging it out. You know, I think he's like top 5 in Heisman odds. I'm pretty sure.
Should be.
Sam Levitt,
he really should be.
Yeah, Sam Levitt, another absolute dog. We heard a lot about him last year. We know him as of this year. He's playing great football. We're gonna see. It's going to be very competitive. Very competitive. I don't know. I really don't know how this can go. It can go either way. I lean towards Arizona State, but you never know. TCU is a very well-coached team.
Very.
This is a head coach who has been to a national title.
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes. I mean,
Talk about name of the year, Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes.
Talk about it.
Like you said, Aaron, this is a big time game in the Big 12.
Big time.
Arizona State is at the
Big
point where they're
time.
3-1 right now. Yes, their loss is to an out of conference team, but they feel like they can't afford to lose again because they know how crazy this Big 12 race is going to be.
It's the wild, wild
you
west.
have so many teams out here. You really don't know who's going to rise to the top. Still have Utah, Texas Tech, and TCU. Those are just 3 teams out of the million that can come up and win this
still
conference.
Undefeated.
Arizona's still undefeated. Baylor still has only 1 loss, no conference losses at all. So
they just lost to Arizona State.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
They did last week.
Mm-hmm.
But that just explains how wild this conference
yeah.
is. So Arizona knows they cannot afford to lose here. Both teams are going to be playing with their hair on fire. I'm leaning TCU in this matchup, but Sam Leavitt and Jordan Tyson are still one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the nation, and this might just be their coming out party, showing everybody that they are still what they were last year, if not a little bit better. Now, before we get into the 2 big-time games tomorrow night, there's another game that's really picked up a lot of traction throughout this week. It was already on a lot of our radars, but a lot of people in the bar stools and social media aspects of the world, of the sports world, have all started to pick up this game for different reasons. John, this is the number 4 team in the nation, the LSU Tigers, going on the road to Oxford to take on the 13th ranked Ole Miss Rebels. Talk about why this game has been so talked about this week.
I mean, this is going to be one of the more true tests for LSU. It's not that they had a good test week 1 against Clemson, but you really, since then, you've seen lackluster offense and a good defense, and you're trying to see who's going to step up this when you see Ole Miss has kind of figured out their quarterback scenario in Trinidad Chambliss. What a name there. Go on to that list. But, I mean, you get the fog there in Ole Miss somehow. You get the atmosphere that it can be dangerous, and with the way their offense is moving for Ole Miss, I think you want to lean Ole Miss because they're going to try to find every weakness within LSU, and that's really what I see there. Because with Trinidad Chambliss taking over and your run game, not that we know LSU has a solid defense, but they're looking for something to get them to that higher spot to put them ahead. And I think this is their opportunity to do it. It's not that Garrett Nussmeier can get something done, but I don't know outside of maybe one receiver at LSU who's going to step up in this sort of environment.
John, I love how professional you kept it. Now, Schrader, you tell me why this game has been so talked about.
Yeah, John, I love the breakdown of this game. But the reason that this game is really blowing up on social media is because Whit Weeks, LSU's one of their best players, if not their best player on defense.
I'd argue Harold Perkins, but he's number 2
here. I guess one of. But still, he's dating Lane Kiffin's daughter. And that's kind of wild because LSU and Ole Miss hate each other.
Yep.
And Whit posted a picture on Instagram with him and
Lane Kiffin's daughter sitting in his lap.
Kiffin. Yep. And so
on game
Lane Kiffin, what did he say? Bet the over?
Take the over.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, Lane Kiffin's in. It's going to be one heck of a game. Vaught's going to be rocking. This is, if you want just an unreal atmosphere.
Oh, that's gonna be
this
crazy.
Atmosphere is going to be like when Georgia walked in there last year. I know you two remember that. And I'm just
how could I
saying,
forget?
looks like Lane Kiffin's starting to win the big games a little bit. So this is one to keep your eye on.
It's going to be a big-time game, and like John alluded to, their quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, has been incredible. The Ferris State transfer won the national championship with Ferris State, a Division II school, last year. But this year, in his first 2 starts as the Ole Miss quarterback, he has over 700 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 195 rushing yards in 2 games. 2 games. And like John just said, this LSU offense has sputtered. Last week they got their feet under them, but who did they play last week? Can anybody tell me who LSU played last week?
Southeast Louisiana.
So against Southeast Louisiana, their offense looked good, but it was Southeast Louisiana. Now you have another big-time SEC team coming in here, a team that can score. Trinidad Chambliss has taken this offense to unforeseen heights. It's still a Lane Kiffin team, and Lane got a little extra to play for as well now that his daughter is dating one of the LSU linebackers. This is a big game. This game matters. This is huge in the SEC. I'm going with Ole Miss here because we've seen so much more from their offense.
Right.
LSU has left a lot to be desired, but I do love that LSU defense. I think Harold Perkins is the best defensive player in the country, and the Weeks brothers are littered throughout. They got a big-time corner that's looking like he's going to be an all-pro SEC. He's going to be an all-pro SEC
first
player.
Team All-American.
First team All-American. I said all-pro. He's going to be a first-team All-American as a corner. They have very good defense, but I think if any offense can expose it, it's this Ole Miss one.
See, because you look at this Ole Miss offense and you go, yeah, Trinidad Chambliss has been outstanding, but say he plays against this LSU defense and he doesn't play well. Well, darn, they still have Austin Simmons sitting right behind him.
Oh, no.
Like,
Another gunslinger.
It's unreal. And also, just like, Man, this coaching dynamic of Brian Kelly on one sideline and Lane Kiffin on the other in a rivalry game is just beautiful. It's poetic.
Dude, it's amazing. The one thing about Trinidad Chambliss, though, even if they cannot get the pass game going, what he can do with his legs is incredible. 195 rushing yards over a 2-week period. Those are John Rice Plumlee numbers. Yeah. And when John Rice, and the thing is, when John Rice Plumlee was at Ole Miss putting up those crazy rushing numbers, he wasn't really pushing the ball downfield with his arm. But Chambliss is doing both. Over 700 passing yards and just about 200 rushing yards in a 2-game stretch. I'm bought in.
I've seen John Rice Plumlee at Ole Miss play against Vanderbilt, and daggum, it was fun.
John Rice Plumlee was something incredible.
Yeah, he was so
and
fun.
Trinidad Chambliss is the closest thing we've seen to it since then at Ole Miss. There's another big game we have to touch on. Now, we're going to pick the last 2 big games in our game pick segment at the end of the show, so you don't want to miss it. Well, this is a game we have to talk about now for a number of reasons. 1, we're in the state of Georgia. And 2, we've been getting a lot of complaints recently about people saying we don't talk about the Georgia Bulldogs enough. Now, let me just say this. If anybody's going to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, it's going to be me. I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Athens, Georgia. My parents met there. I wouldn't have been conceived without the University of Georgia. So I have to talk about the Dogs. But let me just say this. This game is going to be incredible. This is the game where Ryan Williams really made a name for himself, and we all heard his age a billion different times. Well, he ain't 17 no more. He 18.
Oh, wow.
So we can legally do things to Ryan Williams at this day and age.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I don't know if that's going to happen.
That is a crazy statement.
But it's going to be an incredible game nonetheless. The key to this game to me is Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson has been playing incredible all 3 games of the season, including the Florida State game. He was like the only. He was the only inspired Alabama player during that game. And when you look at him, he can get it done with his legs. Very underrated runner, but his arm talent is undeniable. And when you look at that receiver core, I believe Jeremy Bernard is a top 5, top 10 for sure, but maybe a top 5 receiver in college football.
He drove me nuts. He was open every freaking play.
Jeremy Bernard is always open. He's the quarterback's best friend. Run those short, intermediate, even those deep routes. He can run the whole route.
Killed us on the cross, bro.
Still got Ryan Williams. And you have Isaiah Horton, who was a star receiver at Miami last year behind Cam Ward. And he still hasn't really burst into the scene at Alabama. But what better game to do it than in Athens under the bright lights against the Georgia Bulldogs? A Georgia Bulldogs secondary that was victimized by Tennessee's receivers. A Tennessee receiver room that I don't think is even in the same world as this Alabama receiver room.
There really isn't. I don't know if there is a receiver room.
They might outside of Ohio State, Alabama might have the best receiver room in the country, and I'm not sure if one bye week is going to fix all the problems Tennessee exposed against the Georgia Bulldogs 2 weeks ago. Like I said, we're going to take an even deeper dive into that game later on, so stay tuned for that. But for now, we got a few people calling into the show, right, John? Is the phone ringing?
It's a little broken. Sorry, I had to plug it in. Sorry.
Sportsback Richard speaking.
Hi, so my question for the Sports Pack crew is, do y'all believe that the Green Bay Packers are still a threat in the NFC? Even though we took a brutal loss to the Cleveland Browns this past weekend, because I believe that at least every great team loses one game that they're supposed to win during the regular season before they break out in the playoffs.
Aaron, you want to take this one?
I believe the Packers are definitely still in the hunt. The Browns, the Browns are always going to give them a fight. It's an up north matchup. It's going to be cold outside. They're going to play hard. They're going to play fast. They're going to grind the clock, run the ball. It's not panic time in Green Bay. It's not panic time in Green Bay at all. You have Matt LaFleur as the head coach, great head coach. He's, how many playoff berths back to back have they've gone? He's one of the top 10 coaches in the league. Jordan Love, a great quarterback, young, experienced, gaining more and more continuity in this offense in this city. He has his weapons: Josh Jacobs, Tyler Kraft, Romeo Dowds,
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden. They're always going to be a decent squad as long as they have those pieces in place. At the end of the day, it's still just week 4.
Yeah, it's early in the season.
It's early in the season. You still got to bump out a few kinks in the. So I think it's not time to press the panic button.
Yeah, this is the crap the Browns do to teams all the time.
All
the time they have a couple of wins like this. I mean, we saw it with Jameis in the snow in one of the most beautiful games of football.
That was an amazing game.
This is the day the Lord has made, baby. But, yeah, I mean, the Browns just do this to teams, and I wouldn't be concerned because the Packers' defense was still great. Sure, they had that collapse in the last 4 minutes, but that happens sometimes, and this is the best time of year for that to happen.
Early.
Yep.
Because you have time to fix it. So, yeah, no, don't panic at all. The Packers are fine, like you said. They got weapons on offense. They got a good quarterback. They have elite defense.
Yep.
There should be no panic up there.
I mention of Micah Parsons.
I will say, well, yeah, of course they have Micah Parsons, but I feel like last year, like with their offense, it took them a little bit later to just get things going. But once they get things going later into the season, that really helps them in the playoffs because, heck, they took teams down to the wire last year just to have come up this close to it. So I don't say don't write them off. Keep them there. I think they're still there. You can't count out their defense and everything. Micah Parsons really finding his way in there. Don't just say trade him back to the Cowboys or anything. Keep him here. All right.
Yeah, you'd be a fool to write the Packers off this early.
Yeah.
You'd be a fool to write the Packers off this early. This is a really talented team. They already have two of the best wins in football within their first 2 weeks of the season against the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. That was before Jaden Daniels was injured. He was actually injured in that game, but the game was already out of reach at that point. And like you said, Shrev, the Cleveland Browns have the best defense in football. Extremely well-coached team.
Stefanski's always going to have a good defense.
Exactly. Their offense has been the only thing holding them back year in and year out, but that defense is always going to step up every now and again behind Myles Garrett, Grant Delpit, and the rest of those dogs on that defense, and they're going to go and upset some guys. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. I said Grant Delpit instead of Denzel Ward. Two very good secondary players.
You said that,
but I should have said Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward is one of the best corners in all of football. Grant Delpit's a good safety, but Denzel Ward is an elite corner. Yeah. But, I mean, the Browns are going to do that to people.
You didn't invite me.
Dude, and the Packers have a fantastic opportunity to get back on the roll here. Going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Micah Parsons is going to be inspired. That defense is going to play. They played hard in the Browns games. They're going to play hard against the Cowboys. And this Cowboys defense has struggled throughout the entire season. If there's no better team to play against to get right than the Dallas Cowboys.
Benched, dog.
Yeah. And then you have Jordan Love, who's trying to warm up these young receivers. Yeah. Matthew Golden's looking to get going this week. Jaden Reed is out with a concussion. You still have Romeo Doubs. You still have Tucker Kraft. You have Savion Williams from TCU, who's trying to make waves in this offense as well. So I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for the Packers to get back, dust off that tough loss to the Cleveland Browns and go to Dallas and just dominate in Jerry's world. That's what I expect. I expect like a 40-20 win against the Dallas Cowboys this weekend. I expect Micah Parsons to have a few big-time sacks.
Yeah.
Right. This should not be a close game. They really have two layup games. They go on the road to play Dallas Cowboys. Then they play the Cincinnati Bengals. Then they go to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. So the Cardinals aren't just a wash. They play tonight, Thursday night football. They're sitting at 2-1 right now. Very talented. But those are the three games you want. Those are the three teams you want to have lined up after a very tough loss. I'm not selling any Packers stock. I expect them to be an NFC championship.
I mean, and you got to look at that loss like, yeah, it was brutal, but at least you're not a Falcons fan, man.
Jeez. Why did you even do that? Why was that necessary?
Remember, this guy used to be a Falcons fan, but now claims to be a Dolphins fan.
That's a weird pivot.
Yeah, you used to be a Falcons fan, but now you claim to be a Dolphins fan.
I was a Miami fan in every other sport, and y'all know I don't really care that much about the NFL. Like, I would follow the Falcons. I have pictures of me laughing when the Falcons, like when they missed that field goal against Washington. I was never ride or die with the Falcons, and I'm not necessarily ride or die with the Dolphins, but I still follow them.
You're evil.
I am evil.
You're evil.
I am.
We've been talking about the Green Bay. The teams we talked about were the Packers, the Browns, and the Cowboys. And you bring up the Falcons?
Yeah. I mean, y'all are Falcons fans. Wouldn't y'all want to talk about it?
We're not ready yet. This isn't the NFL segment. We're doing a call-in right now. You bring up the Falcons? After what we just went through early this week? You sat here and heard my rant earlier and still brought that up.
Good old rage bait, man. And it worked. Flawless.
We're going to go to a quick ad break. And when we come back, we're going to really talk about the Atlanta Falcons in our NFL segment. So stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network. Stay locked. You're listening to Sports Pack right here on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Welcome aboard to Sports Out of Pocket Airlines, your nonstop flight to the highs and lows of the sports world. This is your Captain Jackson Vole speaking, and this is Flight Path, where we chart every climb and dive, teams taking off to championship skies, and players hitting unexpected turbulence. Buckle up, sports fans, and fasten those seatbelts, because when the whistle blows, we're cleared for takeoff. Listen to Sports Out of Pocket every Wednesday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network.
Sports Out of Pocket has a brand new showtime.
Yeah.
But what time is it at?
I don't know.
It's not 5 to 6. It's not 7 to 8. It's 6, 7. Wolf Sports Network. It ain't just a game. It's everything. This is where the best separate themselves from the rest. But to be the best, you gotta read the best. And the best is the playbook.
Let's go. Yeah, go.
Tune into the playbook, Fridays at noon on Wolf Sports Network. Hello? Can anybody hear me? I can't see anything. It's like a snowstorm out here.
JT, I need your help.
What? Who goes there?
I'm the ghost of Out of Pocket Past.
Nah, bro. I don't mess with ghosts.
But I need a sports fan that has zero chill.
Well, now that you mention that, this is gonna be Out of Pocket. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, Zero Chill. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network.
Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network are proud to help boost literacy rates with our pre-K book drive. Our ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's pre-K monthly. So give today by visiting thewolfUWG.com/book drive. Together, Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network will make a brighter future. That is thewolfUWG.com/book drive.
Yeah, and binge drinking is consuming 5 drinks or more on one occasion for males and 4 drinks or more for females. However, some college students drink at least twice that amount. That is why Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign reminds all our Wolves to stay safe when drinking. Never drink under the age of 21 and always have a designated driver. Oh, and throw in some good food while you're at it.
If you're looking for food, every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday at West Commons Dining Hall. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. And follow at UWG_Dine_West on Instagram for more special events and updates.
In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty.
Now, Schrader.
Yep.
This week, I've done my very best to delay the inevitable.
Yep.
Sunday, when I was watching the Falcons game,
first half,
I cut it off after the first half, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this until Sports Pack Monday. Talked about it on Monday, had a mental breakdown. Then after that, did not utter another word about the Atlanta Falcons for the rest of the week. I listened to a lot of 92.9 The Game, a lot of UWG, Wolf Sports Network alumni there. Shout out Dylan Matthews, shout out Noel White, great people up there at 92.9.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to their programs about the Falcons, but I listened in silence. I didn't talk. I didn't voice my opinion. Because I knew we had to talk about them again today.
Yep.
This Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, once again, delay the inevitable, push the segment back to the end of the show.
Yep.
Didn't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But you, of course, during our Green Bay Packers discussion,
Yeah, of course.
had to bring up the Atlanta Falcons.
I mean, yeah.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I guess it is time to talk about it. I can't delay the inevitable forever. This Sunday, in the beautiful Mercedes-Benz Stadium. If only there was good football being played in there.
Something like that.
There's
The
good food.
Washington Commanders
I agree.
are coming to town to play our hometown Atlanta Falcons, coming off a dominant 41-24 win against the Las Vegas Raiders behind backup quarterback and former Falcons starting quarterback Marcus Mariota.
Ooh, what a storyline.
Who wants to take this one, guys? What are the keys to the game for the Falcons getting a victory this Sunday against the red-hot Washington Commanders?
I mean, I guess I can start things off because I did bring the Falcons into the show.
Yeah,
I
you
do
might as
wanna
well.
say, Richard, nobody has ever fallen for rage bait quite like you did in that last segment. So I really appreciate that because it was really entertaining for me to watch. But
Call it what you want.
when I look at this game, I mean, the key for the Falcons might be scoring a point or two. Their defense looked great against Minnesota. And then the offense looked lackluster, but it was a field goal battle. There was a garbage time touchdown. Great, extend the lead, whatever. Algier did his thing. But that game against the Panthers, I mean, that was just no offense. Defense really didn't want to show up. I remember we were praising the defensive line because, hey, guys, the Falcons have edge rushers. And then we watched whatever that was last Sunday. So maybe just try and do what you did against Minnesota would probably be a good idea.
Riley?
I have a more measured take on this one.
Bring it in, brother.
I think it's a very even feeling game. I feel like these
It
two
feels even?
Not like the actual game, but like the teams feel
God.
even. I feel like these two teams could finish with the same record, honestly. But like these are both defenses that are kind of inconsistent from time to time, but are
kinda.
average.
Sorry, I'll let you. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. Understand.
Let me take a walk.
Yeah, for sure. These are two defenses that I think are relatively average, all things considered. Like nothing special. And these are two
great way to describe these defenses.
Yes,
yeah,
they're nothing special. You know, they get the job done, I suppose. With the Commanders, their edge comes in the offense. The Falcons' offense, I don't know what has been happening. The pass attack is truly just MIA. Like, I feel like it's gone. Drake London is 40th in the league in receiving yards.
Yeah.
Our wide receiver 1 is not top 32 in receiving yards. That means other teams' wide receiver 2s have more receiving yards than him. Like,
Penix did throw a touchdown to the defense last week, though.
He did. And that's incredible, I guess. But overall, the Falcons, I don't know what's going on with this offense. Maybe
There's been a lot going on with the offense, right? Let me tell you about it real quick.
Yeah.
Well, look, so now this week we fired our wide receivers coach, which I don't remember his name. Don't care at this point. Get him out of the organization, right? So
what does he do? He's a scapegoat. He was a wide receiver coach.
This is nothing but the Falcons panicking, bro.
Right.
It's week 4.
We got to blame somebody. Huh? Fire the wide receiver coach.
Let me keep going through with this. So then we took TJ Yates and moved him into the wide receiver coach position. And then therefore, Zach Robinson, after being a year and a half in the box, by the way, calling our plays for God knows what reason, we move him to the field. Do I know what moving to the field is going to do? Absolutely not. On here on my phone, I literally have a wide receiver chart from 2018, Week 18, Week 17, and with it being Darnell Mooney and Drake London. And the fact that they're
2018?
No, 2014. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was looking.
2014? That's farther back.
2024.
Oh,
2024. Sorry. Got my years wrong. Week 18 with against the Panthers and Week 17 with the Commanders. And the fact that if you look at it, I don't have it up on the screen, but our wide receivers are all across the field. Like, they are literally moving across the field. You swipe over one, we are working the shallowest routes known to man. We literally cannot get anything off there. I just don't think Zach Robinson's cut to be an OC, though. That's my personal take.
He might go be the head coach at Virginia Tech. He's like number 1 on that board.
Great, get him out of here.
He's number 2 in the
I don't
odds.
care.
I'm not understanding why. You know, Schrader, I know what you are. You're a hater. I didn't expect much from you.
Certified hater,
baby.
But the other two, John and Riley,
yeah,
I expected more.
Listen.
No.
I have stats.
I have listened, and I expected y'all to make me feel better. I feel worse.
Let me make you feel even more worse, okay? Let me take the reins here and make you feel worse, okay? Because this game felt close on my mind until I started looking at some stats, okay? We have red zone touchdown efficiency here. And Washington, 75%. When they're in the red zone, they get a touchdown 3/4 of the time.
Okay.
Atlanta, 28%.
Yeah, how about
1 in 4
how about
when they're in the red
Youngway
zone, they get a touchdown. That should not inspire confidence.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not confident at all.
You shouldn't be.
There's
no reason to.
Let me tell you why I'm so upset. I know what the Atlanta Falcons have been historically. I know better than to have high expectations. But at some point over the offseason, I sold myself a dream. I did. And it was beautiful. The dream was beautiful. I saw 11 wins with a 10-win floor, NFC South champions, and a divisional round exit.
Yep.
And I was happy with it. Not a Super Bowl yet, divisional round exit, but we made the playoffs. That would mean Bijan had a great season, Drake London had a great season, and Michael Penix probably did his thing. I am so disappointed. After the first week against Tampa Bay, I was like, you know what? Growing pains. Sure, we can blame Koo, but there were problems all around. Week 2, yeah, the defense was great. Offense would come around. But that Week 3 game has me ready to sell every ounce of Atlanta Falcons stock that I have bought. And honestly, I'm selling it. This game against Commanders, I have no idea what to expect.
Me neither.
There's not many times when I'm talking about sports I can at least BS a take and make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea what to expect because the Commanders are rolling out their second-string quarterback in Marcus Mariota. Probably looking to come out and prove a point against the Atlanta Falcons team that let him go.
The Falcons,
honestly,
Falcons it up.
The Atlanta Falcons team that he quit on a few years ago. But with this Falcons team, I can't say I can depend on them to respond. Bijan, given the opportunity, will do his thing. The defense, extremely shaky. And the offense, the quarterback and receivers just have not looked on the same page since last year's game against the Carolina Panthers. They have not gone on the same page. So many overthrows, missed assignments. The receiver runs one route. Michael Penix throws it 5 yards in the other direction. It just seems like they're not seeing eye to eye. Is that the receiver's coach's fault? I don't think so. He's probably a scapegoat. They had to blame somebody, so Arthur Blank wouldn't just clear out everyone. They're moving the OC from the booth down to the field. What's that going to stop them from doing? Watching Instagram reels during the game? I'm not sure what to expect from this Falcons team, and I'm out. If they score 7 points this weekend, I'm happy. That's an improvement from the 0 points that we scored last weekend. I'm moving on. No high-tech analysis. I'm moving on to what should be a very entertaining game in the 4 o'clock window this upcoming Sunday. We have the 1-2 Baltimore Ravens coming into Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium, to take on the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs. These are two teams that seem to have different problems here. The Chiefs' defense is doing what they always do, but their offense has been sputtering. Patrick Mahomes had to do a lot on the ground with his legs. The receiver room and the offensive line group haven't seemed to be in sync so far through these first 3 weeks. But this Ravens offense is surging. Probably the best statistical offense in all the NFL. But their defense has been the worst in the league. Two teams looking to get right and get their second win of the season against the team across the field they outright hate, especially the Ravens hating the Chiefs. Schrader, I want to start with you. What are you expecting from this game?
I don't really know, because the Chiefs, they had that win against New York last week, but it wasn't necessarily the greatest win. I mean, it was a lot like the win that the Falcons had over Minnesota, except that the Giants had a little more offense than Minnesota did against Atlanta. And the Chiefs didn't look great, but they didn't look terrible. They've been kind of mediocre somewhat all year. But this Ravens team, when you said that they're 1-2, I had to do a double take, because they have not. That offense has not played like a 1-2 football team. But their defense hasn't been good at all. And Derrick Henry hasn't helped with his one fumble a game that always seems to be right when he needs to hold that ball the most. And so it's been really interesting. And I think this game is almost going to be the winner's the team that doesn't screw it up on the final possession. I think it's going to be a great game. I think both these teams are still postseason contenders. I know the Chiefs have kind of stumbled out of the gate a lot more than the Ravens have, but the Chiefs, I think if any team can get it together, it's the Chiefs, because they've always just seemed to find themselves deep into the postseason. But I think this is going to be a great game. I think the Ravens are probably going to walk in there and do their thing, given that Derrick Henry does hold the ball when he needs to. Can't really reiterate that anymore, because that's almost the only problem that offense has.
Riley?
This is a matchup between two teams with unexpected weaknesses, honestly. Like, the Chiefs' pass defense being as weirdly bad as it is right now has been just so weird with Trent McDuffie. I mean, like, he's a great player, and he's been great, and yet the Chiefs' pass defense hasn't really shown us anything besides during that Giants game. Then, with the Ravens, their secondary is talented. We know how talented they could be. They just paid Kyle Hamilton a bunch of money, and yet this happened last year, and it's happening again this year. Their secondary is looking really weak. And so, just like Schrader said, I don't know what to expect from this game. I kind of agree that it will come down to the team who doesn't bungle it on the final drive. And I trust the Chiefs to do that more, but like it could go either way. Both of these teams just are so awkward, and it makes it a really hard game to predict. But I think it will be a close game. It's just very awkward at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'm not really sure which direction to go here, because both of these teams have been sputtering along. Like I said, the Chiefs with the offensive issues and the Ravens with defensive issues, not to mention Derrick Henry's ongoing fumbling problem, which all seems to be becoming mental at this point. It's going to be a very interesting game. I like to say I see the Baltimore Ravens doing it just because the Chiefs have been sputtering no matter who they've played against. Even last week against the New York Giants, their offense sputtered, and their defense didn't look very strong as well. The Giants' offense just could not capitalize. They didn't have it in them to capitalize on the big-time play opportunities that the Chiefs allowed them, which is why the Chiefs ended up winning that game. But they were shaky on both ends of the field. I expect the Ravens to get right this week, but it could go either way. Both of these teams have a lot to prove. Now, we're running low on time, so we're going to get right into our game picks. John, please remind the people of our policy. Sports Pack and Wolf Sports Network are not liable for any financial losses that may occur due to using our picks outside of the show. These are just our opinions. Don't blame us. Blame the players.
Darn right.
We got a lot of games to pick, so let's move as fast as we can. 1 o'clock window, Sunday afternoon. The Philadelphia Eagles go on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. John Howley, who you got?
Tampa Bay.
Why?
I just like the way they've been playing ball. Emeka Ibuka has really been showing out. There's a chance that Chris Godwin is back this week that adds into their offense. So I'm going to go with the Buccaneers here.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker friggin' Mayfield.
All right, Riley?
I'm going Eagles.
Boo.
They lost Mike Evans, and it's not guaranteed that Chris Godwin comes back.
Yeah, but Baker Mayfield's there.
He is there, but he's clutch, but I don't think the Eagles will let him get in a situation to be clutch.
I'm with Riley, too. I'm going with the Eagles as well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a lot of injuries. No Mike Evans. I expect Baker Mayfield to have a game, but I trust this Eagles defense that really got a lot stronger throughout that Rams game last weekend. And then you see their passing attack has woken up as well. I'm going with the Eagles in this one. Saquon will probably have a big game this week as well, but that passing attack is back. Another big-time game. We're going to go straight to Thursday Night Football so we have as much time as possible. The Seattle Seahawks going on the road to Phoenix to take on the Arizona Cardinals. John, who you got? Quick pick.
I think I'm going to go Seahawks here.
Riley?
Seattle all day long.
Schrader?
I'm going to be the weird guy and go with Arizona. I really liked Arizona's move in the offseason, and I think they're a team that's going to be very under the radar, and I think they could even sneak into the postseason. It's a really weird division that they got going in the NFC West. And also Florida, former Florida State Seminole Trey Benson is now the RB1 over there in Arizona. So I'm going to have to go with my boy Benson. I think he's going to run these Cardinals to a victory.
These are two teams I really struggle to get a confident feel on because it's kind of wishy-washy. You really don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold and that Seahawks offense look very potent at times, but then the run game dries up. Kenneth Walker might have 25 carries for 42 total yards. I mean, it's very difficult to pinpoint what you're going to get. Same with this Cardinals offense. I'm going to roll with the Arizona Cardinals just because I think they're due. They had a big-time loss last weekend against the San Francisco 49ers, an interconference game. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a lot of big-time drops in that game, but I think Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of right that ship this weekend. I can see it going either way, but I'm rolling with the Cardinals here because I think the NFC West is a crapshoot. Riley's shaking his head no. But hey, I really don't know which direction.
Three-word defense. Mike McDonald defense.
Mike McDonald's defense is legit, and they could give Kyler Murray fits. I don't know, man. My gut's saying Cardinals, heart saying Seahawks. I'm going with the Cardinals. Boom. Big-time game. Whiteout from Happy Valley. The Penn State Nittany Lions, the third-ranked team in college football, hosting the sixth-ranked Oregon Ducks. Schrader, break this one down for me and make your pick.
Golly, I'm so excited for this game. I mean, like, yes, the Georgia-Bama game is big. It's going to be crazy over there in Athens. But you want crazy. Mo Bamba is going to be blasting on those speakers at Beaver Stadium over there in Happy Valley. It's a whiteout. Finally a night game. Big Noon didn't ruin this one against Oregon. But this Oregon team, man, I can't tell you how much I love this Oregon team, but even how much more I love Dan Lanning. He is a player's coach. These guys they want to play for him. They want to go out there. They want to win these games for him. You've heard his pregame speeches. You've heard his postgame speeches. And like he said, if you hate him, just know that he loves you. And I think Oregon is going to walk into Happy Valley and show everybody that this Penn State team just isn't quite what we thought they were.
I agree with you 100%. I love Dan Lanning. I think this quarterback, Dante Moore, will be in New York City at the end of the season. He will be a Heisman finalist. And I think Oregon's edge comes in the receiver room. I think they have a fantastic receiver room that can try to kind of expose the cracks in this Nittany Lions secondary. And I do not think Drew Aller in this offense has the firepower to stay with the Oregon Ducks long term. I see Oregon building like a 10-point lead in late third quarter and not giving it up. I'm going with the Oregon Ducks to win this game. Now, John, this weekend in Athens, the Alabama Crimson Tide come back in. What happens?
Man, I mean, you can see what I'm wearing. I'm wearing Waffle House on the back of the shirt. Well, where did Waffle House start? If I'm correct, Georgia, right?
Yeah.
It's simple as that. They're always open. Gotta love it.
How does he eat there? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe there's something special to it. I don't know why I said it, but this is a big game for us. All right, I know Tennessee is big, but this is where we can make a statement. This is where Gunnar Stockton can step up. This is where our wide receivers can step up. This is where the running backs get going. We really need defense to lock down. Give me dogs all day.
Riley?
I'm going to roll with the Tide on this one. For me, like, I think the Alabama defense is great in pass coverage, and so I think they can bottle up Gunnar Stockton pretty well. And, like, I mean, Nate Frazier's a good running back, but he's not going to carry the Georgia team to the victory here against such a great defense from Alabama. And also, Alabama has been winning the turnover battle in every game they've been in. And Georgia, you know, they're still winning it, but Alabama hasn't turned the ball over once on offense. So I'm going to go with Alabama.
Schrader, quick pick.
Yeah, I think Alabama. I think it's going to be a close one, but I like we've seen what a half-decent receiving core can do to y'all's secondary, and Bama has one of the best, and I'm just still not convinced with this Bobo offense. I mean, Gunner's made some good throws, but I don't think y'all are going to be able to throw screen plays the whole game and keep cooking.
I believe this Alabama defense is vulnerable. I wouldn't go as far as say it's one of their strengths. I want to see what they do against another big-time offense like this Georgia offense that's been running the ball a lot, play-action passes. They've been pushing the ball down the field, especially last weekend against Tennessee. But I think Alabama's receiver room is what sets them apart. They have an outstanding group of receivers, and I really feel like they're going to try to put the country on notice today. I'm not selling any of my Kalen DeBoer stock. He's one of the best coaches in all of college football. We saw what he did in Washington. And a lot of people didn't see what he did in Sioux Falls, but he did an incredible job out there. I think this Alabama receiver room is arguably the best in the country, and Ty Sims is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Like I said, I don't think Georgia can fix all those issues in the secondary after one bye week that Tennessee exposed. So, believe it or not, I'm going with the Tide on this one. I think they get it done.
Unreal, Richard.
I think it's going to be a very good game.
That's sad.
I expect it to be rocking out of Athens,
Richard.
but I think the
That's
Alabama
sad.
Crimson Tide get back on the roll and win this game in Athens.
You made the right pick.
I might just cut your mic, man.
That's so sad, Richard. You are unbelievably down bad right now.
And you know what? Why would I ever pick against Kirby Smart? I mean, they have us beat on every single metric. The receiver room is better. The defensive back room is better. I mean, everything is better on this Alabama team. And they have proven their offense is what's better. I'll take that back. Their offense is what's better. But I cannot pick against a Kirby Smart team. I'm rolling the dogs here, but I would not be surprised if Alabama got it done because of their receiver room and how down bad this Georgia secondary looks right now. Now, that's all the time we got for Sports Pack. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Sorry for just blowing out your eardrums a second ago. I sincerely apologize, but I could not live with myself if I picked Alabama to win this game. But do I expect them to win this? If I'm putting down money, I'm betting on Alabama, but I'm picking with my heart here, so I'm going with the dogs, but I expect the Tide to win this game. Be sure to DM us on Instagram at Wolf Sports Network to have your voice heard. Let us know that you're interested in doing a call-in, and we'll bring you into the show next Thursday. But that's all the time we got. Catch us right here on Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. For all of us on the show, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Have a blessed day, and go Wolves.